that we go this far. Don't stop now. Reaching for a distant star. Don't stop now. Isn't it strange how we're safe and home? So that I'm counting days until the second blow. If you're gonna make a change, you have to let me know. Turn this shit around, start to top the lungs. It's all you need to do. we go this far. Don't stop now. Reaching for a distant star. Don't stop now. Isn't it strange how we're safe at home? Together counting days until the second blow. If you're gonna make a change, you have to let me know. Turn this shit around, just out the top of yours. It's all you need to do.
franchise teams here today.
Even though it seemed like things went the way of L, with SRG taking a clean sweep, we did see some sparks and signs of a new era forming. With completely new rosters to look forward to. A lot of people have already made their predictions, their tier list, their power rankings about what to expect here, but what are your thoughts?
Honestly, it's really interesting. I wasn't expecting RRQ to be one of the teams who would actually vouch for a Malaysian spot here in the franchise league. And not to mention that Team Ray, out of all the teams that we had previously, were the ones who kind of pushed through, now looking to rebrand themselves as a dedicated franchise team. But that's a lot of work, because again, this is not a rebrand or anything. This is just newer players, a team that is more dedicated and is willing to pour more funds to make this.
worldwide in global PvP. So, what are you waiting for? Download Mobile Legends Adventure and start your idle adventure today.
Especially with how many sponsors we have these days, I'm pretty sure that you guys at home have more than enough time to enjoy an idle adventure today. Now, RRQ, I don't know about you, but when I saw their coach, that's when I was like, maybe I believe in this team. Because how many people are going to say no to Chinese money and decide, you know what, I'm bringing it back here on home soil under an Indonesian organization to try and bring us to the world stage?
That's a good question. I feel like it was worded in a very interesting way. But yes, you're not wrong, right? We have a familiar face behind the desk of RRQ Tora, which is, of course, Sasa returning from China to coach a team now in MPL MY. I think a lot of people were not expecting RRQ to bring a branch here into MPL MY. We finally have the kingdom joining our borders. Can they claim the throne here as well?
It's not because of Hazel anymore. They literally have an entire brand here down by MPL MY. And I'm excited for this, right? Look at the young guns on the opposite end, potential RRQ, especially when we're thinking about some of the big ones. Sasa already has a lot of experience. Then you start putting in things like Dyra and you're like, whoa, hold on, this is starting to become a real team.
Yeah, it's a very interesting squad as well with a lot of potential, but will they be able to mesh well together? It's basically a new lineup entirely. Haven't really had the longest of time to build up that chemistry, to build up those dynamics, and behind the curtain as well, a lot of people should be aware that Coach Sasa can be quite strict. He has his own style of coaching that not every single player may mesh with.
I agree with that. Most people can't take how harsh he is because he truly takes this game seriously. Like, it's a life and death matter, right? People get upset. Gets passed away, he gets upset when a game goes the wrong way. And with that being said, we'll see whether or not this makes the team stronger or weaker, because some people can take it, but those who can and excel with it, you start seeing some really prominent players.
He's a Kage for a reason, right? He's earned those accolades and he wants to be able to spread it, but may have his own style and own approach about how he wants to do so. But what about on the other side, right? We got Team Ray. What do you think about them?
Oh, Team Ray, this one's tough. This one's really, really tough because they are taking some notable players, two of which you see on the screen right now. Loliel's alongside with Siska. And let me tell you, Siska, prominent EXP laner that I'm expecting to go far and beyond, especially in the international stage. But he's never gotten that opportunity. Loliel has a little bit of international experience in winning SEA Games, but at the end of the day, he is a
top 3.
Top 3?
Yeah, it's quite... I feel there's a lot of promise with these players, and while maybe not top 3, I think a lot of other people put Team Ray fairly high in their tier list as well, just off of the accolades of the players alone. But I cannot deny, there is that question. Does the chemistry work? Siska's good, Loliel is good. Are they consistent enough? Have they improved sufficiently?
Yeah, and that's why I think that I'm a little bit more lenient towards RRQ side. Because these are players who not only have shown they have what it takes, they've just never had a team that makes them work well as a 5. I would argue that yes, Gary had his moments in CG Esports, but even prior to that, he was an up-and-coming jungler and then disappeared off the face of the map, and then eventually joining back with CG after multiple failed attempts. Well, secret, so on and so forth. You know the drill in that point. But I think that this can go one of two ways. Either they go dead last, or they start looking like a top 3 finisher.
Very different sides of the coin right there.
Yeah, I mean, they're all so young, which is why I'm hopeful.
I mean, we know that Team Ray has unfortunately faced the 8th place curse multiple seasons in a row.
Back to back.
Will they be able to beat it this time, right? But what about you guys? It's time to ask the question to all of you watching out there. Let's ask from the perspective of the kingdom. Do you guys think that RRQ can secure their first win in MPL? Scan the code below and let us know.
There's only one answer if you're part of the kingdom. Anything else is treason. Understandably so. But even from Team Ray's side, apparently they've got fans in droves, which is why they got the slot in the first place. The question is whether or not that kind of like work. Usually it's a team where it's like, oh, they're missing like the team aspect of it, but they got the community, or they've got the team aspect but no community. I don't know where they're trying to position themselves just yet.
Yeah, Team Ray is a bit curious. I think that's really all we can describe about this team, because they've been 8th place multiple seasons in a row with different rosters. Even with different rosters, they often do pretty okay in the first like 1 to 2 weeks. And then just kind of drop off from there for various reasons. Could be performance, could be other teams realizing, hey, they just kind of play one style and we know how to deal with it now. I do think this is one of their most promising rosters yet. But is the issue stemming from something deeper?
That's the thing. I don't know if the issue is going to stand deeper or they just lack identity. A lot of these new rosters face very similar issues. One of the 3 major issues is either identity problem, communication problem, or a mechanical problem. One of these 3 will be faced. Usually it's either 2 out of the 3, but for most teams at this point, it's 3 if you have a franchise slot. There's just not enough time to conquer all 3 problems.
Even if you do have a slot now in our new partnership league, it's still very, very fresh, right? It's literally the first season. It is the first day. So you can't really see the translation of those resources. Here, starting with RQ Tora.
With Ruff, Super Yoshi, Kim, Gary, as well as Dyron. An exciting team on paper, but do they have what it takes to jive well together? Gary has been more soft-spoken, generally speaking, and then he joined CG, and now he's an actual more vocal compared to where he was last time. Kim, natural leadership skills, short stature, big personality.
I think one thing that RQ Tora definitely has going for it here is that the majority of these players have naturally aggressive leaning styles. Ruff is one of those gold laners that wants to fight. That's why he actually was one of the more effective fighter gold lanes when that was the popular meta. Kim is a very vocal, very aggressive style of mid lane, likes to make plays across the map. Gary maybe leans a bit more towards utility, but does definitely fulfill the niches where it's necessary. And you've got Dyron finishing off the lineup for some pretty solid side lanes.
I mean, we talk about a solid side laner. We've seen Malaysian teams not utilize it, right? You know, take Siska for an example. Prior to actually joining in from the tier 2, he was being underutilized until finally getting picked up by Untitled and showing that, yeah, this kid has what it takes and is one of the best EXP leaders for his age. Ivan comes back to the roster, team for Team Ray. Martizi in the mid lane. Loliels as a staple, and Justnar early in his career, but at the very least, he will have opportunities to prove himself.
And Justgar is definitely going to be the biggest question mark here, because all of these other players have had some experience on the MPL stage, with the side laners being the big highlight. One of the reasons why I put Team Ray so high in my ranking is because of Lolil and Siska. In my opinion, they're some of the best side laners we have besides SRG.
We'll see whether or not that's going to be the case. We're going to go for a quick ping test mic check. We'll be back right after. Ruling over their kingdom with ferocity.
team reborn, a fight reignited, blending Malaysian and Indonesian talent into one new force. Will the end this season? Can the underdogs finally become the top dogs? Make some noise for
And a half Marchese, a mid laner, having played in a professional league, deciding to walk away from that glory to come down and join Team Array alongside. With the brains comes with the brawn. Sasa as head coach and Coach Link as assistant coach. Caleb and as well as St. DeLucas as head coach and assistant coach for Team Ray. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it going. Fist bumps between the team. A true sign of professionalism. This is how we roll. This is Malaysian sportsmanship.
It is now time to witness these two new forces clash upon the stage that is MPL Malaysia Season 17. With new rosters and new energies reignited, each is eager to claim their first victory and set the foundation that will carry them forward throughout the regular season.
With first pick in their hands, the question is, what are they going to show the world here today? What is the identity? Are they going to be playing for just themselves to show that, hey, this is our style, or are they more adaptive than that? Knowing how Sasa thinks, he likes a very vanilla, standard style of game. If there is a movement across on the map, it's premeditated, never just a feeling.
Definitely. These are players with experience. These are players with their own egos and their own styles. How well can they mesh together is going to be the question here. And how much preparation both sides have had going into this season compared to the past seasons of MPL MY or any MPL in general. This has been one of the biggest reshufflings in general, which means there's a lot less information for most of these teams and these coaches to work with outside of just the player lineups themselves. So that is going to be put to the test.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm looking at Team Ray. I'm looking at Ivan because this man is able to lead a team. He's done it with Homeboys, and now he might do it again with Team Ray. But quickly, let's look over at Ruff. Another, some may say he's been dominating T2 for too long. Let me ask him, hey Ruff, do you have anything to say to your ex-teammate Marchese on the other side, who they used to play on MP together with?
And he says to Marchese, get ready to lose. I'll make you retire. Then you can go back to further your studies again. Honestly, that is
Kinda Jones. Other than the fact that, funny enough, I'm pretty sure if I read that correctly, on his hand it says play with Super Yoshi. It said main dengan Super Yoshi, in translation, play with Super Yoshi. Which kinda is telling me, Ruff, why you leaving your Filipino, your Filipino, might I add, support. Like, you don't want to walk away from that guy.
Or like, is that usually something you would need to remind yourself? That seems like a pretty obvious.
Let's wait until he picks Claude or something. Oh wait. Oh dude, what if they get Claude Moskov? For Lolios and Martese, both of them just like ulting into nothing.
That's definitely impossible. Well, considering it's rough as well, he does like making things happen on his own, admittedly.
Yeah.
He likes playing fighter gold lane for a reason.
That he does.
Maybe that is a reminder he needs.
I mean, that's the thing, right? At least with at least when we are starting to look towards rough side, it's a little bit more salvageable compared to like the hard marksmen we've seen come out of Lolios. When utilized correctly, you get to see the game's level results. When you don't, oh boy, man, Lolios' career has been brutal, even though he's been commended by every single coach who has coached him. Best mechanics ever.
Yeah, I think he is the definition of the player who's just on the wrong team a lot of the time, and he actually has the proof to back that up as someone who has competed with the local SRG roster in international tournaments like the SEA Games and performed admirably on. I'm hoping this is finally the team that allows him to demonstrate that, and I think this is going to be a very fun matchup to see as well, since both goal laners like the ego challenge.
Yeah, they do. They do. And it's kind of it's like EXP feeling of it, right? Where it feels like you've lost the lane if your opponent just gets one extra auto attack off and you're like, no, that's not okay.
There we got the heart monitors. 100 heart rate, little bit high, little bit nervous there. Don't be too worried though. Once the game starts, all those jitters just go away.
Nah, it's just a known fact that Dyron has 2 hearts. Each one beating at 50.
I see. Yes.
That's why he's so chill. You think at 100 BPM that his face is just like, yeah, I don't feel blood coursing through my veins.
He just needs the extra heart to pump it even faster.
Yeah. It's just more efficient that way, clearly.
Definitely. Maybe we should consider getting a second heart. Oh boy, do I have a line of people. I hope I can seal their hearts. But even so, it's time to draft. Let's kick things off here with our second best of 3. So far today has been pretty exciting. SRG had a lot of resistance, but I want to see whether RRQ and Team Ray could top that. Especially Team Ray, because people are coming and looking at them thinking like, man, these guys have been 8 lanes all the time. Dangerous grass as well. Hilda could potentially get picked up here. Does Team Ray have enough? Yep, that is going to be the question here. Hilda, definitely a high pick rate on the side of Dangerous Grass, and we've already seen Khalid earlier. Aggressive roamer is going to have very high value under the current circumstances to force junglers to play uncomfortably. RQ going to be on that blue side, already banning out the Baxia and the Fanny, so focusing on that hero pool on the opposite side.
Interesting. It is just Gar, though. I am curious to see what they're going to do with this, right? Because if this is insider information or something that they prepared for... there we go, finally, the Guinevere. So this is premeditated. So they really want to make sure that not only a flex pick is out of the...
as well as the Hilda we mentioned earlier.
Really surprised that they didn't want to take the Hilda early on. But at the same time, now we have to actually think, because this opens up potential for like EXP laners dominate, and that could open up jungle pathways for RRQ later down the line, knowing that Hilda's going to kind of be in their face. Same problem, if we look at from RRQ's POV, that Hilda could just go into EXP, which seems unlikely, but you never know with the Malaysians. They roll the dice a lot.
It's possible. We know there's a lot of local players that enjoy playing the Hilda in the EXP lane, but I wouldn't really consider Siska to be one of them.
Yeah.
So I feel like
he's good on kind of anything.
Yeah, he's so good on playmakers especially. So putting him on a Hilda feels like a bit of a waste, but that means that Sora is open along with the Suyo for RRQ.
I'm actually down to Hilda versus Sora because it's such an unwinnable lane for Sora. It's like you can commit everything and still not kill the Hilda at the end of the day. That's the frustrating part about it. So unless they want to, take away Siska's playmaking capabilities and put him on a hyper peel roll, it would be sad. But at least with Phoveus, there's a little bit more that can be done here. And my guess, he's going to build full tank.
I would think so as well. Like, we did already bring up the Thunderbelt earlier. I feel like it's possible as long as the laning phase goes well enough, and would allow Siska to be more of a damage threat once we get into the later stages.
That's under the assumption not only he wins the lane, but he purposefully doesn't break the tier 1. Like, he sticks in the lane on purpose to farm those stacks against Sora, if that is the case.
I mean, it's not necessarily. If you're confident enough, you can start farming stacks by joining team fights. And a lot of it does depend on whether Hilda and Leomord will be able to create enough space, but if they do, these are heroes that create a lot of tempo.
Is it going to be good enough? Wait, let me think about this for a moment. Would I rather to be halfway through a Thunderbelt on the first hurdle rather than just have a Dreadnought armor? That's a tough call. It's a tough call. I think I would go for the Dreadnought armor, but then the potential of having like 15 stacks and like almost getting at least 40% of a mid laner's HP doesn't sound that bad of a trade-off either.
I think it really does depend on how well the laning phase goes. And we know that Siska plays a pretty mean EXP, so there's a chance, but it is very dependent. There is variation in how that build can go, and it also depends on what the rest of his team needs. If they already have sufficient damage overall, then he could probably bypass it.
Yeah, or if they're winning so hard, they can go into War Axe, and I think that's where the game gets really, really fun for Phoveus players, especially when the enemy team is delayed on the Glowing Wand and the Dom Ices. Second half of the draft, however, a lot of like CC-heavy things. Hylos, pretty good ban here overall for the Slime Team Ray, but then I'm looking at RRQ, they're getting rid of the Zetienne, which I would only assume, why do they need the Vision? Are they looking to cancel out other artillery mages?
It's possible, but I wouldn't also think that heroes like Farsa were enough of a priority. I guess Eve is also something they could be looking at, but they already have the Valentina.
Play the early game. I'm not sure whether it's going to lean more into the gold laner here, but the fact that they have Hilda, they can lead in any direction. And Kimmy ban from RRQ, really, really nice stuff.
So good focus onto the mid lane here. Valentina is one of the stronger ones now, but will still have difficulty against poke-heavy mid lane mages. So getting rid of those will give Kim a slightly better time. Now the Yi Sun-shin will get picked up. And in the first match, we talked about how Lolil was the first person to actually go for that Yi Sun-shin gold lane many seasons ago.
Yep. Whether or not it's going to be good enough. If I'm facing against Yi Sun-shin, what's a gold laner here that deals well against tanks? I mean, carry makes sense-ish, sort of, but at the same time, it's so short range that dealing with like a Leomord in your face, I think you might want Claude a little more. Oh, actually, maybe Moskov even. You can push them away, I suppose.
It looks like it will be the carry. And that sounds like a glue. One of the common counters to the Phoveus. So this is not the Sora EXP, it's Sora Roam.
No. It's got to be Sora EXP Glue Roam, right?
Roam. But then Glue matches up into Phoveus a lot better.
I agree that he fits much better into the Phove, but it's not like...
But Sora Roam
Roam
level 1 versus Hilda is terrible.
Exactly why I think Glue is going to be the one, right? Because if not, why get it? Why get it? Like,
fair enough.
Like, in terms of raw displacement, we only have 2 ways to displace. One doesn't really count because it's a Terrify, so it depends on where you're standing, and then you walk away from it. You can't consistently hit Leomord off the steed. And there we go. Finally, the Farsa does eventually come through. So this is what they were trying to lean into, which is kind of interesting. I'm not entirely sure why they wanted it to go in this particular direction, right? Because I think that even if Zetienne was let through, that's not a bad ult to steal either.
Yeah, definitely not. Now, the Paramis could have been a possibility to counter the glue, but I think they were okay with that because they have the Valentina.
Yeah, they're just lacking damage, right?
The NetherRealm versus is always going to be a thing.
It's always going to be bad. It's always going to be rough. It's always going to be bad. I don't know. When I'm looking at this draft, the first thing that I'm thinking of is the early stages of the game for the Team Ray, right? There are a lot of ways to make things actually work in their favor if they make the timings line up. Level 4 is what we're expecting it to be for Team Ray. Same goals for RQ Tora, but it's the battle of the supports that will make the difference.
If they can create early, that's going to be huge in order to carry them into the mid lane and hit that scaling timing with their item power spikes. But ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to jump right into the... Once again, we got RRQ Tora on the blue side up against Team Ray on the red.
Yep. You guys need to come here to Quill City Mall live, because then you can actually see the front-facing cameras of each of the players with each individual Ozbots who both of them happen to be looking at our Marshal right now.
Curious.
Oh no. I think they may have, they haven't noticed it yet, but until then, grab your QR codes as they fight for the first Lethal Wanderer of the game.
Patrick taking a lot of damage here, but Glue is still going to be a very annoying hero to deal with. Litto will be secured by Team Ray. We've already pointed this out, but Team Ray is the team that ideally wants to create a bit more space early on, especially with Ivan on this Hilda.
This has got to be so frustrating. Because for Martese, he can't just hard shove the wave, and for Ivan, he can't really help with the concussive blast because then he's going to get locked down and lose too much life to just glue on top of Kim. that's why they're just holding up their abilities, right? They want Ivan to show.
Definitely, and Ivan, even on the Hilda, not able to do so too safely. The poke damage from Valentina Glue early is deceptively high, and now Gary's nearby as well. Looks like Team Ray knows there's some potential funny business happening.
Yeah, but considering that both junglers have already finished their clears, they should collide now. I don't know.
They're engaging on Super Yoshi. They force the flicker out. Gary comes in, but knows he's outgunned, so he will back off.
Yep, really good call there. Very, very good call. And a huge resource actually being lost for Jaskar. I think at this point, Jaskar, whether he contests for the turtle or not is going to be dependent on the EXP, and that's why more resources being dedicated by Team Ray to ensure that at least the EXP laners can get involved.
Was able to steal that crab away from Jaskar. Now going to be the first one to control the turtle. Ivan comes in, takes so much damage. Here's the lightning form from the Sora, forces the flicker out. Siska resetting the turtle at least. Ivan looking for chance, not able to get that last hit. Flickers forward, gets the shifting skies, but the Fender District finishes him off, and the Phantom Steed comes out as well. Kim gonna need to back this up and abandon the Super Yoshi, who's one hit away from death. Jaskar should be able to finish this. No! He gets the tower in time, and now the Fender District is stolen! The bounce back from RRQ.
Beautifully played by everybody across the board. Really nice stuff here by RRQ, but at the same time, Gary, he is playing counter initiation. He is not trying to start things up against Team Ray. He wants Jaskar to do his thing. And so far, with that being said, a level lead for the jungler right now. And Gary, he knows he doesn't want to be in this position. Team can get a little hard. They're just waiting for the ults to come back.
Gary going to scout things out. Siska and Ivan on the turtle currently, but Super Yoshi is back. Glue is really such an annoying hero to remove, especially without anti-heal. He's already level 4 as well, so there's the risk of being dragged back. Dyron is here. Ivan engages on Kim, drops him below. Fender District comes out, but the lightning form is in the backline. Martisi in danger. Dyron finishes him off. Jaskar grabs the glue, and Gary grabs the turtle at the same time. Team Ray dropping low, but they'll at least trade for the sword. But is it worth it? Ruff picks up his first kill onto the Hilda, and he's even doing more poke damage.
Yeah. There was a moment they could have thought about going back in there, but Siska understands, hey, as soon as Carry pops that ult, there's no need for me to be there. I'm not playing Vengeance. All I got is Peel, and if I have to use my Flicker, then so be it. Available. All laners haven't really gotten too much.
Awkward. Yep.
The poor guy. The poor guy. All he had to do was just get over the wall. No. And now Kim losing so much pressure just because of that.
Sometimes you just want to ride a horse as well, Gideon. You know?
Mom, it's only 25 cents, I swear. It'll be 5 minutes.
So maybe you should make sure else isn't on it too.
Oh, no. Wait, hold on.
Ruff
Okay.
Ruff actually doing some good damage here.
Really good light wheel there. TR just kind of didn't do anything. Like, I was expecting Marchese to maybe trade flickers, but I think they're playing a very safe style of game. I want to see whether Team Ray is trying to stick to the book as well, because I know, at least for RQ Tora, they've adjusted the rules a little bit, changed the parameters to make sure that Gary is the counter engager. Team Ray, very standard.
I think both teams are playing to their own strengths currently. RQ Tora, you can see the discipline, the communication is there, and they have a lot of resources to work with how tanky Super Yoshi is. Team Ray has already missed a bit of a window to get an early snowball going, but as long as they don't fall too far behind, they're still okay. Here comes Dyron, they get the stun, Turtle already at half HP. This guy comes in, Jaskar on the flank as well, but he's instantly zoned out by Dyron. Feder District can be used. Gary secures the turtle. He's stuck in the pit, but he dashes back out, and Ivan goes down to Ruff. The damage from the carry is too much. It's a killing spree for the Suyo.
So far, so very good for Ruff. Man, Ruff's light wheels have been impeccable, right on the target, hitting multiple targets at the same time, and Team Ray are just not reacting well to it so far.
This is just the type of game that Ruff loves to play, right? If his team is tanky enough, he can walk as far forward as he wants to do his damage. It's only 6 minutes in and Carry is already 2-0.
There needs to be some kind of punishment here for the side of Team Ray. They have access to Feathered Airstrike, but it's been a real struggle to get it off consistently, not knowing where Dairen is or whether all of a sudden Super Yoshi decides to flicker forward, right? Many ways to cancel the Feathered Airstrike. So really, I think that Team Ray, their best setup for a fight has to be around the turtle.
I think so as well, but even that is difficult. Ivan in trouble! The Shifting Sky is doing so much damage, and Hilda drops. Feathered Airstrike already whiffing, but Juskar looking for the kill onto Dairen. He's dashing out, but the horse should chase him down, finish him off. Is it worth it though? Ruff gonna be able to belt him away, and they're gonna have to abandon Siska as well. It's a mega kill for Gary.
Team Ray needs to stop defaulting right now. They are listening to the calls of Ivan, and they are doing very... I don't want to say bot things, but let's just look at the instant replay, right? If you look at the minimap almost straight away, you can notice the positions of where everything's happening, right? As soon as Ivan gets caught here, both Glue, alongside with Suyo, alongside with Carry, are already walking up after pushing down to the bot side. Gar should have known that he should have gave it up at that point of time, but he's too deep.
And I like the call from Super Yoshi as well to just instantly engage on the Phobia since he knows that the Leomord is 100% dead. So RQ Tora operating incredibly well right now, and Team Ray looking a little disconnected. I feel like this Hilda unfortunately isn't doing much for them.
I mean, considering how the early game went, now Gary has 4 kills. Very not well. Not great. Not great for the most part. They didn't want to sacrifice that mid space, and this is what happens. Oh.
Ooh, do you really want to be there, Ivan? Gonna get caught by the glue once again, jumps right on, tries to flicker away, but nope, just pulls you straight back. Killing spree for Ruff. Feathered Airstrike to zone out RQ Tora, and Dairen just eats all the damage like it's breakfast.
Yup, and this carry pick now really showing its fangs. Hilda does not stand much of a chance against it, even with flicker as well. Siska very, very nervous about these types of positions. He himself had to flicker out in that previous engagement. And now we see that Team Ray are forced to stick together, right? Defaulting at this point of time, sending multiple people into many different lanes. You need to show up for just a split second, because so far RQ Tora, they've been sticking for 5, and they're sending their feelers out into the enemy purple side jungle.
They're really making good use of this glue roam right now. One of the tankiest heroes in the game, in fact, and Team Ray is feeling that. They've already finished the Chastised Baldron as well on both Super Yoshi and Dairen at the same time, so Team Ray doesn't have enough damage to work through anything.
Yeah, I didn't realize how far ahead Dairen actually was. He's 1.6k ahead. That is a ridiculous amount. I thought maybe 800 probably would have fit the build a little bit more because he's 2, 3, and 3, but he's been actually farming up at a pretty decent rate.
Super Yoshi can literally just stand there, take all the damage he needs to provide information. Flickers in, gets the stun, and Lolil is gone! Here comes the catch from the Sora, finds 2 into the knockup. Feathered Airstrike doing good damage, but is it enough? Ruff already picks up the double kill, and Dairen is still alive. He's able to walk out scot-free.
Damn, big chunks. Big chunks. And right now, Ruff, he's having the time of his life, unpunished, as he walks through confidently with 4 other members to support him. Pillars to make sure that this roof does not collapse just yet. And Team Ray, this is such an awkward time for them to not only lose Siska, but worse yet, feel the power spike of RQ Tora as they start hitting their second items, third items even for some people.
This game already spiraling out of control. We're looking at a 7k goal lead in 10 minutes when Team Ray has heroes like Leomord, Barca, and Hilda who should be in control at this stage. But RQ Tora has made their presence known, a free Lord in their hands.
With Lord in their hands, let's see how they break inhibitors, right? Because this is the best setups for Lords. No side lanes to worry about. Only on the top side there's a single T2. But wait, whoa! Yo! Are we fighting this hard just for purple?
They really want to commit that? They're going in. It's a nice dark wave, but is the damage sufficient? Look at RQ Tora. They're just surviving everything! And Team Ray is melting! Like cheese on a hot car hood! Martisi left by his lonesome, being chased down by Sasuke. Of all people, it's a monster kill.
I can see the memes. I can see it already. I can imagine it. Clippers out there, you know what to do. All they have to do to get a good meme about Team Ray that at this point, purple buff over losing a game.
And it looks like they're just gonna be pushing straight in right now. Dyron does drop, probably a little bit unnecessary, but it's still fine. It's 3v3 situation. Lord has already taken the inhibitor. RQ Tora does not need to stay any longer.
Yeah, I think at this point, the only thing I need Team Ray to do is really talk about the way that they're going to fight and why they are fighting. I think a lot of the times we see these newer teams, they fight out of instinct and they don't really understand, like, what are we doing here, right? Like, the Lord is going to spawn anytime soon. The longer the fight drags on, the more hurt you're going to be for when the Lord actually spawns and gets to your inhibitors. And ideally, you end the fight before or after that, right? Within the first 10 seconds of impact.
I'm gonna be honest, I feel like this is already a GG scenario for Team Ray. I don't really know if they have the right tools for stopping RQ Tora's push. Ruff is very farm 7-0. Gary is perfectly fine as well. The only way they turn this around is if Lolil can somehow get a huge gold influx from picking up multiple bounties.
Well, I think it's gonna be a little hard. Dealing with Super Yoshi and Dyron, like, together is hard enough. He could probably 1v1 a good chunk of them with the exception of Ruff.
Perhaps, but even then, you're not gonna get those situations. The one, like, you're hoping for a 1v1, RQ Tora's not gonna give it to you. Their positioning has been very clean.
I mean, they've given up on the default, right? Dyron is standing right next to Ruff. He's got Super Yoshi in the wake. He is following what he literally wrote on his hands. The only one who's allowed to be individually selfish, or at the very least do his own thing, has to be Gary. Because he knows that if he shows up first, he straight away.
Yeah, I think Gary's timings have been great, and it's been a lot easier because Super Yoshi is so difficult to remove. And he's only got 2 items completed in 2, so this glue is only going to get more sturdy.
Yeah. Second question, why are they allowing Team Ray to walk out here? Like, Team Ray should not be able to get out of their base. Like, touching this wave, there should be some kind of tax. Like, well, then again, the missing mid inhibitor doesn't really change that fact. But I'd like it, at least for RRQ side, hey, interact with them when they show up on the map. We've got a pushing wave down bot that Gary can handle. So all we got to watch out for, Lord Pit, top side, and mid lane.
I do feel like Super Yoshi could be scouting a little bit more aggressively here. Walk up into the jungle, since you're probably not going to die even if all 5 members are there. Team Ray being allowed to have a bigger presence than you would think.
Yeah.
Oh, do you really want... Oh, they're trying to go for the concealed flank, but Gary's already finished off the Lord. Kim does drop quite low, but here comes the shifting sky. Is Iron gonna be able to finish off Siska? And now they're diving into the back line. Just Scar gonna be grabbed and fed to Ruff. It's legendary double kill for the goal laner of RRQ Tora.
That's got to be upsetting. Very, very upsetting for Just Gar. And even Martese, they did not give him any space to play this entire game as they close out the first round. Ivan finally falls 20-7. RRQ Tora, these young guns invested in by the kingdom, take game number 1.
We are seeing some very clean, controlled aggression coming in from RRQ Tora in their very first game of MPL Malaysia Season 17. Stopping Team Ray from being able to play at all for that early game. Snowball, and after that, everything else just falls into place.
Yep. Oh my goodness. Tough. I'm thinking, is this a draft issue more than anything else? To a certain degree, yes and no. And I think where could they have adjusted a little bit better? It's not because it's a difficult comp to read unless you know that their playstyle was going to be, hey, once we break the T1s, we stick as 5, we have a 2-2 kill squad, and then Gary does what he likes.
I do think the glue caught them off guard. I don't think they were really prepared for that possibility, especially since you don't really see him played in roam too much. Is the perfect answer for stopping Hilda from walking into your jungle, and actually even more durable than she is. So there simply is no way for Team Ray to remove that vision control from their opponents.
Yeah, they knew that if they didn't send Ivan into the mid lane, they lose mid prio, and without mid prio, that's when they can start walking into Leomord's jungle for free, and I think that would have been a worse outcome Even so, it's something to think about for Team Ray. They've got to readjust here, and I think a lot of it is just breaking down the supports and that mid lane. Super Yoshi got away with so much there.
Blue is just that type of hero. It's so annoying to play with. Anyone with personal experience, there's a reason he's banned so often in ranked as well. You gotta have the right composition to handle it, and they just did not because of how late the hero showed up.
Yeah, I think with that being said, at least there's a couple of behaviors that we're noticing right off the rip, right? And for Gary, would I say it's a stellar performance? No, I think he did all right. He did his job. His timings, like you mentioned, literally very, very perfect, just to make sure that his teammates get out, knowing that he can't really find a trade back. And then eventually, once he has 2 items, that's when he's like, all right, it's time for me to fight.
It's a lot of freedom for Gary as well as Ruff this game just because of this glue alone. Right? They are allowed to just take their time and just decide when to enter because Super Yoshi will do the rest. Right? I'm kind of wanting to see what will happen when they don't have a hero like that, but that depends on what the draft is for game number 2. For now, MVP of game 1 is none other than Super Yoshi.
Well deserved. Well deserved. He was set up for success, and now he continues to follow the legacy that his brothers have set for him. A region that just needs better supports. Super Yoshi answers the calls on an unconditional pick of Glue, which is funny because the only other time you see Glue in the support was last year. Last year, so that would have been season 15, right?
It was it played? I feel like it was played last season.
Was it 15 or was it 14 when we saw support Glue get thrown out there by... Oh no, was it Ocean Black who did it, or was it... it was one of the...
I remember Rahasia played a support Glue a couple times. Not often, but once or twice.
But it was the first dude who did it. I know the face. I will come back to this. I will come back to this. I will eventually get my history down for our lore. But 20-7 is still a whopping performance for the Kingdom, and they should be very happy with how this played out. Team Ray, on the other hand, yo, they gotta... I know it's just like the first day, but they gotta pull something together here because, again, the defaulting does not work. We're not seeing the adaptation here.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really a big fan of the Phobias showing up at least so early in the drafts as well, because it just hasn't been the most effective. I can see Phobias doing well in certain situations, but maybe not a general catch-all, especially when you're leaving heroes like Sora wide open for your opponent. Once you lose out on that EXP lane control, and then you know that Ivan's not going to be able to do much against Super Yoshi, you already lose all of your frontline potential.
Well, I think that the beauty of Phobias really comes down to, when you think about it, he actually outscales Sora. If Sora goes full damage and Siska decides on this Phobias, full tank, full items, you will not die. And I think that is by far the most important thing when you're facing up against Sora, because knowing that Sora can like one-shot you as soon as he hits level 4 is a very scary feeling.
But there's still outplay potential comparatively to a hero like Sora. There's just so much he can do. Even if you do somehow lose your lane or you get outscaled by a Phobias, you can still set up, you can still push side lanes. You don't actually have to be with your team to make things happen comparatively.
Well, I think it just boils down to like, do you have true damage or not, right? Because again, they are really thick boys. Phobias, so thick. And even when we're talking about Sora's in particular, his tank form, yes, it's great, but nothing beats Gary. There is once Carry. I mean, once Ruff is like 9 and 6, he was already having 3 items, already building into the Malefic gun. If I remember correctly, roughly 11. Was it 9 minutes? 11 minutes into the game already. That's when you know it was kind of done for.
I would kind of wish they saved Lille's hero for last rather than Martizi's if they were intending to go for this Marsa, because then at least they might have a little bit more counterplay potential. I don't think Isanshin's very good at melting the glue. And Lille was playing pretty okay, like things were pretty balanced in the goal lane for most of it, but then Ruff started joining fights and then instantly ballooned out of control.
Yeah, they needed isolated fights ideally. Like segmented modular fights that can be like pick picked up and thrown around in different spots. That would have been nice, because again, when you are playing Yishin Shin, the greatest strength of Yishin Shin is that he chases anybody down. Nobody can really quote-unquote get away. You make some distance, but he'll eventually catch back up. Unless Team Ray are able to create that sort of like pathway for him, I don't really see it happening just yet.
There's no hero on Team Ray's side that can open the map enough, especially against Super Yoshi.
Well, I mean, it was supposed to be Ivan, but we saw how that early game went. Which is why I thought, like, if you knew that the mid lane was so scuffed already, why stick around, right? Like, you've already taxed half your HP at level 1, and then you heal back up to 75, you go back to level 2, and then you have to recall because you take, what, 90% of your HP, leaving you with 10? So it's like, at what point do you cut it quits and be like, I'm sorry, Martisi, this is not working. We gotta split.
I think the big issue is that even if they split, there is literally nothing Ivan could have done this game. Right? You lose the mid lane. You can't invade because Super Yoshi will be there. You can't kill a carry. You can't kill a Sora as long as they play correctly.
But you can influence the lanes. I think that's
So difficult though.
Oh, no, just the well time. Like, I will say that Siska had 1 or 2 moments where he froze the lane correctly, and he needed Ivan to show up to chunk Sora's life total. I think there were a couple of opportunities there, but they were very focused around that gold lane. They were very focused on moving away, unless it was a turtle fight. And even the turtle fights, that one, talk about the major one. The Lord, like, I don't want to say Lord steal, but Lord already taken, and then just before the Lord spawns, they decided to fight from the side of Team Ray? That was wild. What are we doing there?
I guess even if we disregard the draft entirely, there were some interesting calls being made. I do think desperation mode started kicking in when they realized, like, what do we do? What can we do in this situation? And just hoping something works.
And Gary, alongside with Just Guard, has the same ideas. We have to affect the mid lane.
It's just that one side had a little bit more to stand on in order to achieve that. I really feel like teams are weirdly not respecting Sora enough, and yeah, you could maybe beat him in lane with Mobius if you time it correctly, but then there's just so much he can offer in team fights. I really feel like he should be more of a prio.
Yeah, I personally think so as well, but I don't know. There are other things to worry about, like Freya and Marcel and apparently, wait, what was it again? Eve? No, it was Zatan. That's the one.
Yes.
It took me a while. I got there. I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% with it. But now, considering the last 2 bans were basically for priority, it makes sense.
It does. I think it's very smart. We're seeing some clear signs of ideas from RQ Tora. You can actually see the effect of Sasa's coaching as well. This has his sort of style built into it. So
yes.
Let's ask you guys once again. You guys think that RQ can secure their first win? We got your guys' answers. And yes, 76% leaning towards RRQ Tora's victory.
Yeah, I would like to see, you know, some names of those who don't believe in the kingdom. The 24% of you, enemies of foreign states, probably.
A different kingdom out there.
Dude, it's gonna be so confusing later if we get multiple RRQs from different. Oh, dude, it's gonna be so complex. It's gonna be like Aurora and Aurora again.
Or at least RQ has like different names.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
You could just be like, but then you're giving up like the key part of the brand of RRQ. It feels weird just saying Tora.
So it's just compulsory that you have to say the whole thing.
Probably.
That's how they make people say the whole thing.
Darn it. The branding is too strong. Frustrating. Very frustrating. But hey, the Tiger Kingdom is doing good for now. I am a little... You know what? I'll save it for a little bit later. There are some concerns that I have, but I think I'll save it until after. We'll see at the end of this game whether or not it's going to be good enough. But we have a little bit of an interview up on the stage. Let's quickly jump on over and see what that's about.
Terima kasih banyak kepada Casters English Emily. Nak tahu saya berbual dengan siapa? Saya actually ada kawan-kawan baru di mana orang daripada side RRQ Tora dan RQ Tora bermenang game pertama. Mungkin kali ini mungkin dekat Malaysia RQ boleh menang. Jadi sebelum kita mulakan, kita nak tanya kepada
Dari Indra Permana, dari Medan juga.
Okey.
Fajar dari Medan juga, sama. Dukung Let Darren.
Dari Medan.
Medan, semua dari Medan lah?
No.
Ah, okey, jawablah.
Madura.
Ha?
Madura.
Madura. Ya, okey. Sebab aku dah confused tu nama ke apa kan. But, okay, so Analang dengan awak, saya nak tanya. Bila sampai?
Malam.
Semalam sampai. Jadi, dekat sini kita boleh dapat yang daripada Indonesia, semalam baru sampai dan hari ini tengok diorang bermain. Jadi, saya nak tanya kepada abang di sebelah saya, kenapa sokong RRQ Tora?
Sebab ada Let Darren.
Ada Darren.
Satu kampung.
Satu kampung. Okey, jadi dekat sini saya nak tanya, boleh tak bagi tahu serba sedikit tentang Darren yang mungkin orang lain tak tahu?
Salah satunya ni lah pacarnya Let Darren.
Okey.
Saya baru sini jumpa nih, baru pertama kali jumpa dia. Jadi bang, kalau di kampung kita lain kota ya bang.
Jadi kat sini saya pun nak tanya, tengok diorang yang performance tadi, lawan dengan tim Ray nampak agak kuat. Jadi macam mana rasa prestasi RQ Tora dalam game pertama ni?
Alhamdulillah baiklah. Untuk match pertamanya, semoga match keduanya juga kayak tadi konsisten.
Ya, dan ini juga nak tanya daripada Indonesia datang ke Malaysia, tengok kita punya hall, kita punya stage, dan dia punya environment dekat sini. Macam mana perasaan daripada Indonesia datang Malaysia untuk tengok MPL?
Terkejut sih, ternyata RRQ Tora banyak yang support, ternyata Kingdom Malaysia ternyata banyak juga. Woo! Tetap support RRQ Tora ya guys, semoga bisa konsisten, semoga bisa lancar setiap matchnya dan juga bisa lolos playoff step by step lah. Doain ya guys.
Alright, thank you very much. And untuk kita teruskan interview ni, saya nak tanya abang sana, ada tak apa-apa pesanan kepada RRQ Tora sebelum mereka masuk dalam match lawan dengan tim Ray?
Buat RRQ bantai 2-0.
Bantai 2-0. Jadi semua orang boleh balik awal. Terima kasih banyak dalam saya Lepel, dan ini adalah fans daripada Indonesia. They've been a very good sport. Tapi sekarang kita akan pergi balik kepada kita punya casters untuk mulakan perlawanan RRQ Tora menentang dengan Team Ray.
You know, considering that RRQ is one of the legendary teams since the beginning of the Mobile Legends age and have stand the test of time, I expected nothing less than their fans to show up on the ground for the team in Malaysia.
Even then, I'm still impressed. The fan base for basically a new roster here goes to show that this organization has a lot to offer, and I'm hoping that it'll give these players the chance to gain energy from that support.
And that's what we need to see here. Oh, that's so sweet from Kim. He's got his mom. He wanted to give a shout out to his mom later on. But we took one of the coach's quotes, one from Sasa himself. He mentions mechanics over experience. He chooses young players because I like their mechanics. They're smart and capable of outplaying their opponents, but the biggest factor is definitely their mechanics. They already have MPL experience. What they lack is exposure at the international level. I'm getting very mixed messages here.
Basically, he likes mechanics.
But he said that they're lacking interesting. Oh, the zoom in! Oh, the quick zoom in on live television. Hey, I didn't know we could do that already. Things are really looking up here for the franchise.
Shout out to Mom and all the moms out there in the crowd. And if you ever need a little bit of a self-perk up, you can turn it upside down and say, wow.
Man, that's brutal. Oh, we even got the side. Oh, that's adorable. Yes. That's what we need. A real life line in the real world. These aren't just athletes. They're people.
His mom has been a staunch supporter for a very, very long time. Very similar to Stormy's mom as well.
You know, funny enough, Kim's mom actually took leave from her work just to come and see her son last
that support. We know these players have what it takes. They just need the right pieces.
I think they need to adjust. They have to adjust on the fly. Sometimes adjusting too much, especially when you can't read the situation, is dangerous. But considering Ivan has had good reads before in his previous season here in MPL MY, before he took a backseat, now with a brand new roster, I think there has to be underlying issues in communication, right? How else can you explain it?
Well, the draft wasn't doing them any favors, but we also know the decision making was a little bit sus at times. Could be because they were so behind. Could be because the draft felt so gapped. But let's see if they're able to get a lineup that's a little bit more balanced. Then we can actually see what they're capable of.
I can't wait if you ever go over to the voice of the mic checks, right? Of these players, it's just Ivan telling them at the very end here, guys, suicide charge! We end it here or we die here. Alright, let's jump right into the draft. Let's see what the adjustments that can be made. I'm really looking at Team Ray. We've got to see something else from these guys. But first, a random map. Dangerous gas again. Unlucky.
Take a lot of repeat maps. Earlier it was matches of broken walls between SRG and Mamos, but RQ Tora on the blue side once again. Picking up that Valentina burst.
You know what? Maybe this is a blessing in disguise, right? Because we didn't see much attack. Team Ray, now that they've got the exact same environment, let's see what that adjustment would look like in this one.
Now we did say they should prioritize Sora a bit more, but it is a Valentina, so it's a little risky.
That's funny. That's very funny.
Hilda and Kimmy.
Alright, so Kimmy makes a lot of sense in this, because again, Kimmy, once she has a passive, she completely outranges the Valentina, right? The only problem is that her health pool is really tiny. So if for whatever reason, if Ruff happens to steal Hilda's ult, there's a chance that he might one-shot Kimmy. Like, unironically.
I mean, you don't even need to. Just pick up Sora now and have him chase her.
One or the other. There's got to be like a high damage dealing ult, and that's all you need to just kill this Kimmy. I don't know whether Kimmy is like... honestly, for me, it shouldn't be within the first 3 at the very least, unless the ban's adjusted just a little bit here.
They probably picked it early because Kimmy was banned in the second phase by RQ earlier, so they just want to lock it in this time. I was going to say RQ can probably just pick the same heroes again, and that's exactly what they did. It's the Sora and the Suyo.
It's gonna happen all over again, sir. They can look to adjust the glue now that they've already at least picked up their first 3, right? TR. Already banned out Jushin, the same bans as last time. How would you improve upon the previous composition? Because the last time they got backed into a corner, glue only showed in that second phase. So now that they have locked in the Fredrin, alright, that's that classic combo that I was talking about. Now that they've got this down on lock, the side lanes can be a lot more flexible.
Well, just to make sure they won't run into issues there. So this is looking a little bit better. But it also means that Hilda wants to play aggro, but the other 2 heroes are a little bit on the slower side. At the very least, Ivan should be able to try and dive the backline now that there's no glue to deal with.
Question dealing now that glue is gone, does RQ pivot? I feel like they don't need to necessarily.
Could still go like Hylos.
Oh, would Hylos be good enough in this particular scenario? Because no matter what, it's really like, how do you displace Fredrin and Hilda to kind of get out of the way so you have access to the backline? And you're already running Suyo. So Suyo is weird because like you can't really like one-shot a backliner unless you're ahead. So now it becomes a question of priority. With Sora in your hands already, the fact that you ban out Masha, which again, very good ban here for the side of RRQ. They know that Team Ray can go double fighter gold lanes if they wanted to. Oh.
I think the carry ban is not bad. I was actually thinking that if they do decide to ban heroes like the Hylos, then the carry would still be a problem, especially now that they have a tank jungle.
But then would you rather deal with the Claude?
I actually think they would.
Is that more manageable? Because Claude can literally get behind the Fredrin to get on top of Kimmy. Carry can't, unless you're like in a bush.
But carry can melt your front line.
That's also true.
And I think that's what they're more worried about.
I feel like it's more manageable, right? Oh, well, then again it is carry, right? She's real
Subjective
good.
thing.
Yeah, it's a little subjective. And
well, after what Ruff did in game 1,
I mean, I think that one is... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Let's see what matchup he'll have against Loliels, right? It might be better. It might be better for all intents and purposes. Zhu Zong. Zhu Zong Bandao.
respect to Siska. 2 of his high-performing heroes taken out of the pool right here to make sure that the Sora will have the best time possible. They know that with a Hilda and Fredrin already, Siska is going to be put on more of a playmaking style hero to make up for that damage.
But what will be good? You also have to keep in mind that your ults are going to be stolen away by Valentina. So whatever you're putting in your arsenal, they're going to get it too. I was thinking like maybe he wants to go back into something like Lapu Lapu, but then again it's Valentina, so it's kind of rough to deal with that. Benedetta, not a bad idea, but I think we need to see what the support is first for the side of RRQ.
Yeah, I think so as well. Looks like for now, Team Ray is going to be locking in that Yisun Shin again. I don't know. I'm still not a big fan of
hold on.
this.
Wait. Is this... Oh, no. It'd be more so for RRQ if they wanted to go with like the Fredrin EXP.
Yeah, no. Yisun Shin Gold, I mean, it's still okay, but we can see that Loliel has a tendency to play more passive. He needs to hit that second item power spike before he can really start contributing. And that gives RRQ Tora time to work with. They don't have carry anymore, but there's still other good gold laners. The Claude is still there. If you want early game, things like Brody or Clint. The high-lows does get locked in, along with the Granger.
Granger, alright. Let's see, full composition. There we go! You called it! You called it. Benedetta gets locked in. There are clear targets for it, and at the very least, with Super Yoshi on the Hylos, it's a very telegraphed stun for Siska. Oh boy, this is a little spicy here. This one's a little interesting. I'm very surprised that Siska was like, Coach, it's time for the Benedetta. It truly is time.
Yeah, I think so as well. This will definitely outtrade a Sora at levels 1 and 2. Can rotate the map very quickly to try and match up the RQ's more aggressive side lane play style and makes up for the fact that they have a tank jungler. So this is a more balanced composition for sure, and now we will get to see how Team Ray actually performs.
Yeah, this looks gonna be so much better, because even if the mid trio starts to struggle, they can call upon Siska for an early rotation to kind of bail him out of some tough spots. We'll see whether that's going to be the case, because Tora, right out of the gates, we're looking strong with a 20-7 game score for game number 1. We might see a repeat here in game number 2.
Will this be the ray of light that Team Ray is going to be looking for, or will the Kingdom continue to roar and break through their defenses? RQ Tora on the blue side versus Team Ray on the red. Kingdom currently 1 game away from securing their first series of this season.
Yep, and now the hardest part of the mid lane. Look at this. This is just brutal early game domination for the side of Team Ray. Zoning people off, walking into enemy territory, no passports, nothing to worry about, no visas, didn't need it anyways.
This is exactly what Team Ray needs from Siska. He's a playmaker, one of the more promising rookies we've seen in the past couple of seasons. This is where he shines.
Yep, look at him beam. Look at him beam. This is why they banned out Kimmy in the previous matchup. The early game dominance is really, really nice when you have somebody who's able to actively peel for you. But not to mention, we look at Siska's side, it is a start on purple into orange for the side of Gary, and he wants to end up by EXP, which is interesting. I would have expected him in level 1, right on to the orange buff, look to deny.
Yeah, I would think so as well. But I suppose EXP lane priority makes sense here. Both sides wants to make sure that their EXP laner will hit level 4 by that first turtle. And it's going to be a high pressure lane for Dyron because there's been
timing for Team Ray. Really great initiation from RRQ Tora. That's exactly what you want. Oh, Lolias ends up dying again as he returns to the lane.
Oh, this has spiraled instantly. It looked pretty okay before this. But Lolil ego challenged a bit too hard and then walked back to lane and got cut off. This is the point where most people would surrender.
Yeah, I think that Ruff should just weave in the auto attacks at this point, just to get the free plating. Could have gotten a little bit more there, but it's fine because look, as we see that now Marchese has to help out Justgar just to keep up the pace with Gary when it comes down to these turtle fights, because that is the most ideal space for Team Ray to actually fight for.
Kim gonna steal away that Electo final blow. We can already see the issues of letting this Sora go again too. Though Kim will get caught in Fraction Pulse. Has to use the Electo Figure out, but gets caught with the Petrify. Nice dive from Team Ray. They at least find something in exchange.
Beautiful chain CC for the side of Team Ray. That's what we need to see. All right. Down, but Dyron has been able to farm pretty heavily while Siska has been away. Losing about half a wave, unfortunate for Siska, but he still needs to recall, which is the scary part.
At least he was able to catch the EXP cap. Siska before he can pop the shifting skies. And now Super Yoshi trying to sustain, but not long enough. It's a double kill for the Benedetta.
Nothing they could do there. And now Siska is back in the game, evened out against Dyron, despite being at a deficit level-wise and gold-wise, turning that around. Are they gonna... No, they won't be able to make it there in time. Unless Kim does something crazy.
It was close, but Justgar will be able to secure the turtle, and that gives Team Ray some much-needed breathing room. The net worth difference is now closed.
Marchese really starting to pick up some speed here as he's taking more and more control over this lane with or without his support, which is the most impressive part, right? Because it's tough for Kim. He wants to walk out of this lane, but it's he's not making it easy.
Definitely not. See both roamers in the gold lane as well. Ruff definitely having a 2-0. Oh, Kim being dived in the mid lane once again. Barely flickers out, but Justgar gonna use this chance to invade the purple. Gary doesn't have a lot of backup, and he is not able to secure away by the Fredrin.
Oh, is there a potential punish here? I'm not seeing it because right now it's coming down to Siska and Dyron, and Siska wins out that trade and even has the XP lead against him.
And this is what we were hoping to see from Team Ray in the first place. Siska on these aggressive style EXP laners. You can see just how much of an impact he's having on the map compared to before. Though Ivan may have been up. Oh, wait, what is that? How does he get away with that?
Okay. All right, let's just pretend that didn't happen. Right? let's just censor that out of our mind. Everybody these days might as well us, right? Whoa, whoa.
I guess the best way to outplay your opponents is to outplay yourself.
What were you doing there? How could you do that, Ivan? I don't even know what I was doing, man. I thought it was dead. I mean, the flicker, real unfortunate. Bit of a miscommunication there with everybody walking away, or it could have been a lag spike, but if it was a lag spike, he should have called for a technical pause. Even so, Justgar is starting to get to a point where he's becoming unkillable, right? He's already got a couple of items, already down with the Antique Cuirass, so he's taking a lot less damage from Suyo and Dyron specifically, and even Ruff, but now he has to start thinking about Kim.
And we can see now the double-edgedness of heroes like Suyo as well. If you're not ahead, it's a lot more difficult for Gary to actually do the things that he was before. And Justgar has a lot more space to play with all that extra HP on the Fredrin compared to the previous hero he was playing. Next turtle gonna be focused on. Super Yoshi comes in from the flank with the rest of RQ Tora. Ivan's in the backline. Gary steals it away! Beautiful retry timing, but Team Ray's gonna instantly collapse upon him. Gary goes down. Ivan gonna be traded. So
Team Ray isolate their own fights, but once RQ regroup on that bottom side, you can tell Team Ray, the economic damage that they've been receiving all this time is now starting to add up, and more importantly so, they're sticking a little too close together, and Kim is getting mega value.
And this is a strange habit of Team Ray as an organization. Throughout different rosters, they do like to group up, and that can cost them sometimes. Ruff now going to officially be an issue. I'm not too sure how many Sky Piercer stacks he has. Okay, thank you very much, production. 30. So he's on his way.
Yep, he's currently 408 and 8 minutes into the game. Not a bad score so far for his stacks as well, which means he probably should only have like 5 shots back-to-back without the Rondo. Now just Gar still trying to set the boundaries here, trying to make sure that RRQ Tora respects the space. And now that Siska gets the move out for free, they could wait for the next wave, go for the proxy, and then immediately head to the Lord.
There's definitely macro pay potential with the Benedetta on the side of Team Ray here. RRQ Tora's split push potential is a lot lower overall, and then creates more opportunities to contest neutral objectives with this Fredrin.
Speaking of, oh, yeah, nobody else can really open up the map. Just Guard just has to walk in, you know, real free. Where is okay? There he is, behind the Lord pit itself. So they do have full vision over it.
Siren has to dash away from the traction pulse. Team Ray still taking this slow. Siska's behind. Glorious Pathway cuts the fight in half. They're going for Jaskar. Gary's still on the Lord. Ivan looking for Ruff. He's chasing him away entirely. But Jaskar goes down, so Gary gets a free Lord. And now the fight is completely split up. It is chaos in the land of Dawn. Siska abandoned, double kill for the Sora, and Kim will find a turd in the form of Lalil.
Dude, they have got to stop doing this. They've got to stop leaving Just Guard to dry. There's like no reason for it as well. Because Martizi is their main damage dealer besides Lolios. And right now, Lolios is way too far behind to be relevant. Martizi's base damage alone puts him in contention with everybody on his team, including Siska in terms of damage output. So make it make sense. Please, just Gar's supposed to be, everybody just be around that guy, man. He is your cornerstone.
They really need to know how to group together a little bit more efficiently. Siska goes in with a little final blow, takes a lot of damage in return. Oh, no! 5 men on the shifting skies from Tyron! They find 2 as a result, and the Lord is still pushing down bottom. RRQ Tora are the predator in this game, and they're looking for their prey.
Dyron did not come to Malaysia just to retire. He's here to dominate, as he's finding incredible sets so far. How far it's gonna go, let's see. As Team Ray now on the base defense.
Mid inhibitor is already gone. Lord will collide bottom, but will get eventually cleared up. They lose the top tower as well. I think Team Ray is gonna lose all of their inhibitors here, and RQ Tora will be happy with that.
Very nicely done. At least for Team Ray, there's not much saving grace at this point. It's a pretty difficult position now that you're at the 8.7k mark lead. Every team fight has just not gone in their favor. That really is what it is, right? Team Ray, they had a couple of good engagements, don't get me wrong, but RRQ Tora always seem to be able to etch them out in the most ridiculous ways possible.
RRQ Tora has an eye for you can see that these players are more aggressively oriented. That's why they know when the chance is there. But you can also see the chemistry as well, where they're able to control those urges. They know the timing that is necessary and don't overextend themselves. Oh, another glorious pathway. They're still zoning out Team Ray. They're probably not going to get anyone here, but the psychological damage is done.
Oh yeah, they managed to get the Traceless out. Oh, sorry, they managed to get the Turtle Boat out. They also got the Traction Pulse out for free. Didn't have to do anything. Just press one button. Now, everybody else just gonna have a time of their lives, right? Well, hold on. What does Kim have? Kim currently is running the Electo Final Blow as his ult. They are setting up. I don't think he's gonna use it in this upcoming fight. He probably wants it for the upcoming Lord fight.
And I feel like Kim should consider stealing Traction Pulse. I feel like that would work pretty well.
Really? Because I feel like if he's taking traction pulls at that stage, you might as well just go straight. Oh wait, do you get the enhanced auto attacks on top of that? No, I don't think so.
No, I don't
right?
think so. But the gather is gonna work quite well with Dyron.
Yeah, I don't think it's the worst. But if you want like hard CC, I would say either take Lolios or just Gars, one or the other.
Fair enough. For now, RQ Torres is on the. I don't know what the plan was there, because yeah, Electo in the funnel is great, but you don't really have the Petrify. So now the Lord is pushing in. It's a 4v5 completely unnecessarily. Glorious Pathway comes out, slows just Scar. Ivan going from the flank. They will clear up the Lord quite quickly since the damage is sufficient and the minion waves are not the most synced. So I think Team Ray will survive this one.
Okay, they get on out of there. A simple mistake made by Kim ended up costing them a potential push here. This means that the game is going to drag on just a little bit longer, which is great for Team Ray. They've been begging for this. They're like, oh my goodness, the Lord was going to push into our side. And now, with that one pick, we come back into this game. It will even out. They will hit 42k. They will hit the max amount of items. It's only that RQ Torah will be able to swap out their items if necessary.
Yeah, it's time for the base defense bonanza from Team Ray here. If they can delay long enough, they do have good late game scaling with the 2 marksmen, but they do need to shut down Rough. If they can get that gold bounty from the Granger into one of the cores, then Team Ray has something to work with.
Or at the bare minimum, try and half his stacks, right? Major problem. So much HP on your side, you don't want to accidentally just blow up for no reason. Even so, just a very dangerous Ray. Every moment they walk out of their base is an opportunity for RQ Torah to take advantage of them. And they don't want to be caught out in these streets like that. Not at this time.
I think I heard the Mountain Shocker being popped, so they know where RQ is, including these 2 down here. Dyron gonna take a good chunk. We can see Martisi is starting to hit pretty hard.
He is. And I'm looking at Lolios, I'm like, when is he gonna hit hard? It looks like he's already got 3 items, Hunter Strike, Endless Battle, Malefic Roar. It looks like he's going for a BOD?
Small meet up here in the jungle. I don't think Team Ray wants to engage on that. Traction Pulse will catch. That's an awkward kind of interaction, but Super Yoshi's gonna be fine.
Hey, it works out at the end of the day, you know? Could have been worse, but now Cisco getting back into the fight here. There's just too many things to manage. It's a very uncomfortable position for Team Ray, but this will show whether or not Sasa has been drilling them how to sync up these waves together and to utilize these positions to get a free Lord.
Cisco could definitely be having a bit more impact in terms of split pushing, since they know most of RQ Torah is up here, but they're also a bit afraid of allowing him to walk up too far, because without the Benedetta out there, not really capable of fighting either.
Yep, they need every little piece of damage, support, and bodies to make this work. Gary, so far, very happy with the way that he's been farming overall, but now it's about position.
Lord gonna be reset here. Oh, they catch 2 in the backline. Loliel has to use Mountain Shocker just to get away. A nice stun from Jaskar. Ivan once again looking for Rough. Wind of Nature keeps him alive, and he executes Siska point blank. Legendary double kill for the Granger. Kim jumps in. He will sacrifice his life. Maybe a bit unnecessary, but it's fine because it sets up time for Rough to be doing his damage. He's chasing down O'Leal now. Yisun Shin, it does do DPS.
Oh, victory here on Day 1, Week 1 of the inaugural Season 17 of the MPL MY. No better way to close out the day.
We can definitely see that Coach Sasa has drilled some things into the minds of these players. They still have that aggressive energy, but they seem to know how to fit it together. The puzzle pieces work well, and this team is looking pretty promising.
Yeah, this team is looking pretty sick at team fighting specifically, right? And certain conditions need to be met. We're only speculating whether those laning parameters are going to be the same across their games throughout the league, but I want to see them get pushed. What happens if the side lanes don't go as well as it did just now? Does that mean that Dyron can do whatever he wants like that, or no?
I think the same heroes were let through, I would say too many times, but it was only 2 games, so from Probably not the best description, but I think you get what I mean. The Sora and the Valentina were problems.
They were problems. And look at this, right? Very different reactions from both sides. Kim, super vocal, and he needs people who are like, want to get into your face. Dyron is just as vocal. And I was looking at Super Yoshi, he was having a good time as well.
This team was having fun on that stage, and that makes a big difference. So let's see what they have to say about it, though. Once again, interview up on stage. We'll leave it to them.
Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, give it up for RRQ Tora! So first of all, Raf, big congratulations. Performance yang hebat. Lagi Granger Game 2 tadi. Sangat gila. Aku tak tahu macam mana kau tak boleh dapat Savage. But macam mana kau rasa kau punya own performance? RRQ Tora punya performance first day lawan dengan Team Ray.
First kali Alhamdulillah, first game kita orang dapat debut yang baik. Sebenarnya kita orang juga tak sangka dapat main clean macam ni untuk first day MPL. Itu je lah, tak sangka.
And kita pernah dengar dekat interview yang even Raf sendiri dengan Sasa sebagai coach cakap yang Sasa dapat bantu banyak dalam gameplay Raf sendiri. Sebab kita tengok RRQ Tora tadi main sangat bersih. Very, very clean. And Raf pun tak banyak overextend dan sebagainya. Jadi macam mana Sasa dapat bantu RRQ Tora sebagai coach?
First kali dia bantu kita orang dari segi mindset kita orang lah. And cara kita orang disiplin dalam game tu lah.
Alright, thank you very much. And now, with Darren here, and kita boleh nampak tadi Sasa dekat screen. Darren, first of all, selamat datang ke Malaysia. How are you?
Makasih bang, baik.
Okay, so Darren, pertama sekali saya nak tanya, kita boleh tengok ada banyak kingdom dekat sini, banyak fans RRQ Tora yang datang untuk menyokong. Adakah ini mengejutkan Darren? Adakah Darren expect ramai macam ni datang untuk menyokong?
Gak expect sih sebenarnya kan, karena kan kita ya baru gitu kan. Cuman ya gue salut lah sama RRQ Kingdom itu bisa seramai ini di Malaysia gitu.
Yeah. Dari sini, Darren, you punya gameplay tadi pun even masih you daripada MPL ID, you antara EXP laner yang sangat kuat, sangat solid. Sekarang ni berada di MPL Malaysia. Adakah Darren rasa macam you boleh lebih menyerlah di MPL Malaysia dekat sini banding dengan MPL ID?
Kalau itu enggak sih kayaknya bang. Kalau dari saya mungkin ya main step by step aja, karena kan saya juga punya tim baru. Rekan baru juga, jadi ya saya harus catch up cepat juga dengan mereka. Komsnya juga tuh benar-benar susah lah bang, karena 3 bahasa itu nggak gampang gitu.
Yeah. Jadi sekarang ni kita akan tanya lebih sedikit lagi, but for now kita akan tengok siapakah MVP dalam perlawanan ni. Dah dengar ada berapa orang cakap Raf. Jadi dekat sini kita akan tengok MVP in 3, 2, 1. And MVP. Ya, adakah Gary, Super Yoshi, Kim? EJ tak main jadi mungkin tak. Sasa kat belakang nampak blur-blur sikit. Balik kepada stage. MVP jatuh kepada Raf. So Raf again, amazing performance. And satu nak cakap is, before this masa gold lane siap main dengan fighter, Rafu perform dengan sangat-sangat bagus pada waktu tu. Sekarang ni tak banyak sangat fighter, banyak kepada just traditional punya marksman. Adakah Raf lagi suka, lagi prefer untuk main marksman biasa ataupun sebenarnya kalau boleh nak main fighter jugalah?
Sebenarnya saya lagi suka fighter. Tapi sebab sekarang Post 1 adalah marksman, so saya terpaksa untuk catch up cepat sikit lah.
Well, kalau dah 11-01 tu rasa macam dah catch up lah. So, kepada Darren, dekat sini dengan fans RRQ Tora yang ramai, ada yang terbang daripada Indonesia Dan juga tak silap saya, pada hari esok RRQ Hoshi di Indonesia juga akan bermain. Ada tak apa-apa pesanan yang Dari nak bagi kepada semua fans yang datang dekat sini, peminat RRQ Malaysia dan juga Indonesia, dan mungkin nak bagi pesanan kepada RRQ Hoshi yang akan bermain pada hari esok?
Buat RRQ Kingdom, tetap sokong kita dan doain kita karena doa dan dukungan kalian sangat berarti lah buat kita. Dan buat RRQ Hoshi, gue yakin kalian bisa bangkit dan buktikanlah kalian bisa.
Alright, terima kasih banyak. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for RRQ Tora!
It felt that Ruff wasn't just flickering forward for the sake of flickering forward. It always made sense this time round, compared to last year where we were just like, whoa, really pushing, getting right to the edge there.
Yeah, that's because Kim did it for him.
That's Darren and Kim are like, we got don't worry about it, Ruff. We got you. And he's able to do these crazy movements. He's always been able to do that, is the thing. Now that he's got a team that kind of just wants to go forward with him and a good mindset that Sasa has instilled into the team, so far, it looks good. Do I think this is an international ready team? Absolutely not. Because again, this is only one facet of RRQ Tora's gameplay.
Yeah, we haven't seen the whole picture yet. They got to play Valentina, Suyo, Sora 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
It's clearly not enough information to work with, but it is a good start once again, and exactly what we were hoping for when it came down to this new era of MPL MY. We asked the question between these two Eco Challenge gold laners who would come out on top. Ruff literally won the 1v1 against Lolil on arguably a worse early game marksman too, so...
Well, I mean, when it's level 4, it's even. It can go both ways here, man. Like, Granger gets real powerful once he has access to his ult, and for some reason it starts at maximum bar, you know? They could have let it recharge first. It's a little dirty, I'm not gonna lie.
But on the opposite